Begin our look at sports on the big baseball diamond in the Bronx. The Pinstripers return to the BX Thursday night and welcome their longtime rival, the Boston Red Sox. Although the Yankees have had their number so far this season, last night was an entirely different story. The Red Sox dismantled the Yanks 19-3. Ouch. Xander Bogaerts hit a 3-run homer in a 7-run first inning, then added a solo shot in the 8th as Boston put on an historic pounding of the AL East leading Yankees on Thursday night in the opener of their 4-game series. Few good things for the Bombers this past week, and of course, a few not so good things like last night. Let's go back to the good stuff, shall we? If Tuesday's game between the AL East leading Yanks and AL Central leading Minnesota Twins was a true playoff preview, October can't get here fast enough. After a 6-run comeback, 4 blown saves, and a half a dozen lead changes, it was Aaron Hicks soaring through the air and catching a would-be game winner from Max Kepler that gave the Yankees a 10-inning, 14-12 win. Hicks's absurd game-saving catch highlighted what should be considered the game of the year. With the bases loaded in the bottom of the 10th inning and the Twins looking for a walk-off, Kepler launched a fly ball to the left center field warning track that would have almost certainly scored all 3 base runners if Hicks missed his diving catch. He did not. Hang a star on that one, folks. Back to the bad. New York Yankees all-star catcher Gary Sanchez has gone on the injured list for the 2nd time this season, a day after straining his left groin. That happened in Minnie in that same game. Sanchez was hurt when he stepped on first base. While grounding out in the 8th inning, he was replaced by Austin Romine, who will now get a majority of the starts in his absence. Yanks also lost Brett Gardner to the DL this week, knee inflammation, and made an announcement Thursday that Troy Tulowitzki is hanging them up. Open quote, "For as long as I can remember, my dream was to compete at the highest level as a Major League Baseball player, to wear a big league uniform and play hard for my teammates and the fans," close quote. Tulowitzki said in a statement, "I will forever be grateful for every day that I've had to live out my dream. It has been an absolute honor. I will always look back with tremendous gratitude for having the privilege of playing as long as I did. There is no way to truly express my gratitude to the fans of Colorado, Toronto, and New York. They always made me feel and my family feel welcome." The 34-year-old played just 5 games this season, and his first in pinstripes, before suffering a strained left calf on April 3rd. He was bound for Cooperstown earlier in his career, but injuries robbed him of his greatness. He homered in his first Yankee spring training affair. That was a nice highlight for him in pinstripes. As for the Yanks in Boston, the season series finally made its way to Beantown for the first time as the bitter rivals kicked off their 4-game set at Fenway Park on Thursday. The July 25th meeting marked the latest the teams have faced off in Boston for the first time in a season since the strike short in 1981 campaign, when it took until mid-September. Unlike that year when the club split their 6 contests, this season series has been decidedly one-sided, with New York having won 6 of the first 8 games. With a rare early lead, the Mets ace shined in a 4-0 win over San Diego Thursday afternoon. Jacob deGrom pitched 7 innings of 4-hit ball while getting a rare bit of first-inning run support, and the New York Mets beat the Padres. The Amazons begin a new home series this weekend in Queens. They welcome Pittsburgh to Citi Field. Saturday is a night game in Flushing. Speaking of nice highlights for a New York City baseball team, the Mets received 3 home runs from Robinson Cano in the Padres series. Cano blasted 3 dingers in Tuesday night's 5-2 win. He accounted for all 5 runs, hitting a solo homer in the 4th, a 2-run homer in the 6th, and another 2-run jack in the 7th. More bad news, though, for former Mets ace Doc Gooden. Gooden was arrested again in New Jersey on Monday night, this time on charges of driving while intoxicated. Gooden was pulled over after driving the wrong way down a one-way road. Newark police said it was the 2nd time he has been arrested in as many months. Time for some quick hitters from around the world of sports. Baltimore Orioles Stevie Wilkerson was shocked to learn he had just become the first position player in Major League history to earn a save. That was last night. The Orioles center fielder certainly couldn't believe he had done it by throwing a perfect 16th inning way past midnight with a bunch of lobs that never topped 56 miles per hour. Wilkerson's singular performance as the Orioles' 10th pitcher was only the final flourish on a 6-hour, 19-minute epic game that might just be, what Baltimore has been looking for this whole season. Another memorable ball game from this week. The Lakers reportedly felt they got played in their Kawhi Leonard pursuit. Leonard waited a week into free agency as many other potential Laker fallback signings went elsewhere before committing to the neighboring LA Clippers. But Leonard also said he was very close, really close, to signing with the Lakers or the Toronto Raptors. According to a Yahoo Sports report, Leonard would have likely chosen the Lakers if the Clippers hadn't found a way to pull off the blockbuster trade for Paul George, league sources told Yahoo. In other NBA news, the #1 pick in June's NBA draft, Zion Williamson, is widely regarded as the most coveted endorser to enter the NBA in years, arguably since LeBron James in 2003. During his All-American freshman season at Duke last year, Williamson suffered a late-season right knee sprain after his Nike sneaker ripped apart as he planted his left foot in a game against North Carolina. But that didn't keep him from signing with a branch of the brand in Brand Jordan this past week. The New Orleans Pelicans forward shoe deal with Jordan Brand is the largest ever for an NBA rookie in terms of annual pay. The Portland Trail Blazers have agreed to sign six-time All-Star free agent Pau Gasol. ESPN reported Wednesday Gasol will sign a one-year, $2.6 million deal to join a Blazers team coming off a postseason run to the Western Conference Finals. Gasol, who turned 39 earlier this month, is coming off the worst season of his 18-year NBA career. Boston Celtics are keeping one of the more polarizing players of the Las Vegas Summer League on their roster. On Thursday, the Celtics announced that the team was signing 4 players to contracts, including center Taco Fall. 5 games for the Celtics Summer League team, Fall put together averages of 7.2 points, 4 rebounds, and 1.4 blocks while shooting a mind-numbing 77.3% from the field. Taco Fall, best name in the NBA. NFL training camps open this week on Wednesday, the first day of the New York Giants 2019 training camp. Eli Manning stood behind the podium, smiling often and shrugging plenty. He had plenty of self-reflection on day one. The 38-year-old is beginning his 16th training camp with the Giants, the longest tenure of any player in the organization's history. Giants news with a bit of a local twist. Big Blue signed rookie tight end Isaiah Seawright out of Fordham. Congrats to him. In motor racing, expect significant progress to be made before this weekend's Honda Indy 200 at Mid-Ohio on a future contract for Alexander Rossi. His father and agent told NBCSports.com. IndyCar is in Mid-Ohio on Sunday. NASCAR is in Pocono this weekend. One big Alpine stage completed, just 2 more to go, and Julian Alaphilippe is still in yellow, with France yet another step closer to having a first Tour winner since 1985. He's been great thus far in the Tour de France. On to sad news from the world of boxing. Argentine boxer Hugo Alfredo Santillan died Thursday in Buenos Aires of injuries suffered in the ring during Saturday's draw. He was only 23 years old. He underwent surgery for a clot in his brain and twice went into cardiorespiratory failure before he died of cardiac arrest. That was the second boxing-related death this past week. Russian boxer Maxim Dadashev died Thursday after suffering a similar brain injury during Friday night's fight in Maryland. He was 28. If there's going to be a second fight between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, the seeds for it may have been planted Tuesday. Mayweather and Pacquiao traded barbs on social media, with one fighter even bringing up the possibility of a rematch. 2 old guys feuding. And on a final sports roundup note, Max Holloway and Frankie Edgar will square off this weekend in UFC 240. The long-awaited match goes down Saturday in Edmonton, Alberta. Those are the headlines. We have the C-list for some early thoughts on the NFL. Odell Beckham Jr. put on a show for Browns fans and perhaps gave the NFL a preview of things to come this week. The Pro Bowl wide receiver made 2 highlight reel catches on the first day of training camp, delighting a capacity crowd that was lined up outside the gate several hours before they opened. Pairing the ex-Giants standout with quarterback Baker Mayfield has fueled unbridled optimism in Cleveland and high expectations for the Browns, who went 7-8-1 last season and have not made the playoffs in 17 years. Meanwhile, finding someone to fill OBJ's shoes just got a little harder for the G-men. The main candidate to replace Beckham wideout Sterling Shepard fractured his thumb in practice Thursday. Shepard is expected to miss time, though it's unclear how long he'll be out. The Giants said Shepard will be evaluated on a week-to-week basis. The team will have to hope Shepard shows progress quickly. The regular season opens exactly 6 weeks from yesterday. I think the Browns make the playoffs this year, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants surprise many. I do think they win more than the 4 or 5 games that many naysayers have in store for them. The question is, can an 8 or 9 win season be enough? I think the Giants can go 9-7. And out in Jet camp, Le'Veon Bell took a screen pass from Sam Darnold, shifted around some would-be tacklers, and scooted down the sideline for a big game. That's the type of scenario Bell and the Jets envision playing out over and over again this season. And it was a positive sign for Bell, who sat out all last season during a contract dispute with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He signed a 4-year, $52.5 million contract with the Jets. In March, I expect Bell to be huge and could see the Jets winning 10 or maybe even 11 games this year. I know one thing, I would love to see the Giants and the Jets back in the postseason. Share your early NFL camp thoughts with me on social media at The Voice Bobby C. That's your look at sports. Stay tuned. More Open back after this.